Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. I'm your host, as always, James. Welcome back, everybody. Alright, so Taco Bell did this thing, and I swear I wasn't even hungry. Remember, I'm training for a half marathon here, but it still grabbed me. They rolled out this decades menu, right? 5 Y2K icons are back. The caramel apple empanada, Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos, chili cheese burrito, double decker taco, and the 7-layer burrito return for a limited amount of time at Taco Bell. That's the end of my Taco Bell endorsement here. And it's it's not the point, but it's funny because Taco Bell to me has always been less food and more experience. And that experience was chaos in a wrapper. You never need Taco Bell. You just end up there. You know, like it's 2 a.m, you and your buddy are arguing about nothing, and suddenly you're at a drive-thru ordering 5 things you can't pronounce, all for like $7? And future regret. But this decades thing, it's not just a stunt. It's them saying, remember this? Remember when this thing meant something more than just eating? I mean, they might not be saying that, but for the sake of narration in this episode, that's what hooks me. It's because it isn't about tacos. It's about bringing something back. And it's about the way we used to consume things with more friction, more structure, more ritual. And the second my brain goes there, it pulls up, like muscle memory, is Blockbuster. Friday night. That was an event, man. Now, let's pick a movie, but we're going to go out. It starts in your car. You know the route, you know the lights, you know where you're going to park. You just pull through those sliding glass doors and the smell hits you. And carpet hasn't been vacuumed since 1999. And it was like 2000. It's bright, it's blue. It's aisles and aisles and aisles of possibility. And you don't just grab the first thing you see. You wandered. Even though you know why you're there. That's wandering was almost the point. You circle the new release wall like it's a holy site. You tilt the case, you peek behind it, and then all you say to yourself is, please let there be a tape back there. Please let there be a DVD. And let fate be kind just this once. And then when the big movie is gone, and it's always gone, you don't go home empty-handed, You pivot. You start negotiating with yourself or whoever you're with or with the universe. And you go, all right, not that one. What's the second choice? And that's the one with what's one like with the cool cover? Or should we finally use this opportunity to watch that weird thriller nobody saw? And that's when magic would happen. Because sometimes your second choice becomes your favorite. Like, you only grab The Mask because The Fugitive was out, and then you're like, hold on, this is perfect. Why did no one tell me a green-faced man in a zoot suit would heal my soul? I would have never learned about Cuban Pete. Boom, chicky boom, boom, chicky boom. No? Boom. When I play the maracas? Whatever. That only happens because you were forced to pick something else. That's limitation doing work. That's constraint creating taste. Social friction. That's another thing. Don't forget like how real that was. Going with like your friends or family to Blockbuster, that store became a democracy, sometimes a dictatorship. You want horror, Your friend wants a stupid comedy. Your sister wants something cute. And your mom is standing there like, you fools. I'm the one who controls the wallet. You start politicking, like you start going, okay, look. If we do Scream tonight, we'll do Dumb and Dumber next week. And or fine. We'll rent the second one, but I get to pick that a sight unseen. And that's not just shopping. That's practice. That's patience. That's compromise. That's learning how to want something and still let somebody else win. Netflix doesn't really teach you that. It just asks, are you still watching? And somehow that makes you feel judged for even like existing. Like, bitch, you still here? Oh, another thing that might seem like it sucks, but it was important, and I will tell you why, is there's a deadline. You know, the time that you need to return your movie. And I can hear the clunk of those drop boxes in my head. 3 days. All right. Maybe 5 over the weekend if you got lucky and you pay extra. But those deadlines, that window meant you actually had to watch the thing. You didn't spend 45 minutes scrolling, sigh, give up, open TikTok, and then let your thumb run a marathon while your brain melts away. No, you rented it Friday, you watched it Saturday, you returned it Sunday. Ritual complete. And returning it was part of the performance. You drive back to the slot. That tiny guilt when you felt when the late fee in your future. People hated late fees, but you know what late fees did? They made time matter. They made follow through matter. $3 was just enough sting to remember, hey, I said I'd do this and I didn't. And that's on me. That's life coaching disguised as a penalty. And Blockbuster bled into other stuff without even trying too. Like just that whole establishment and that building. I mean, they even had games for rent, which was like a whole other weekend contract. Like you take home Street Fighter and swear you're going to nail a Shoryuken by Sunday night. And then you'd be in school on Monday like, I'm different now. I'm an anti-air god. And sometimes also too, in the Blockbusters, they even have like an arcade machine there. Like my Blockbuster did, I remember. And they even had like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, maybe sometimes even like a racing game that never quite worked right. Sticky wheels. And then while your parents were debating between The Fugitive and The Mask, you were just sliding quarters into that cabinet trying to get washed by not get mopped up by that kid who just stood there every day and played. And that's another little ritual I want to touch on, is like public playing, you know, even like arcades. Like now I know arcades are very common now as an adult, like for barcades, but I'm talking about arcades when you're a kid. Like if you're under 25, arcades is just like, it just seems like a novelty nowadays. But back then they were like a meeting spot, like shoulder to shoulder with strangers, like other kids, eyes on the same screen, energy in the room. If you sucked, everyone saw that you sucked. And if you were good, everyone saw that you were good. The pressure was part of it. You know, you learn to lose without throwing the controller through the drywall because there is no drywall. There's a line behind you though, and if you lost, you go hand the kid your next spot. You learn to win without gloating also too, because you have to stand there and do it again. That built courage, humility, swagger if you earned it. That's character in quarters. And I can't mention Saturday mornings as many times without thinking, and this is just like a quick little thread, because it's the same fabric. Not because the shows were necessarily better. Don't drag me. I love Batman the Animated Series and X-Men Forever. But they were scheduled. You had to show up as a kid. You didn't decide the lineup. The lineup was decided for you, and you didn't catch it later. If you missed it, you missed it. You and your cereal and your siblings and whatever parent wandered through the living room, and then they also like pretend that they're not watching. Like that was communal ceremony. The Monday morning at school, we all spoke the same language. Like, did you see that episode? Yeah. And it's like a shared rhythm, shared clock. We still have like cultural moments like that, sure, but they're like atomized, thrown at us by like an algorithm that learned we like dogs wearing sunglasses and never forgot it. And it's the difference between we're all there at 9 a.m. and we all saw something kind of similar at some point last week. You know, like we all showed up. So, okay. What am I saying, right? Why am I bringing this up? I'm not trying to do the back in my day thing and shake my fist at a cloud, because I already did that in other episodes plenty of times. Because here's the thing. Convenience makes sense. Of course it does. We're busy. We're tired. We want to click a button and have something happen. Streaming is logical. Binging is logical. Food in 10 minutes is logical. No one is morally superior for driving to a strip mall under fluorescent lighting, and just to be told that your favorite movie is gone is better. I get it. But here's the honest thing though. Where's our friction? Those little bumps in the process, they did something to us. Limitations build character. The rules and the boundaries weren't annoyances, they were scaffolding. The ritual forced intent. The store forced decision. The deadline forced commitment. The empty shelf forced discovery. The group forced compromise. The arcade forced courage. The Saturday morning cartoon block forced patience while sharing a timeline. We didn't frame it that way back then, but if I'm looking back, that's what it was doing. And I think that's why nostalgia hits so hard. Not because VHS tapes were better, or arcade tokens had more vitamin D, or cereal tastes more cereally on like a cartoon day. It's because those things came attached to structures that, without us noticing, shaped us. And when Taco Bell says, hey, remember this? What we're really remembering is, hey, remember when we had to show up? Remember when we committed to the small things that practice leaked into big things? Remember when you couldn't just back out? When you couldn't just swipe your way into a different life in seconds? Now that's what's sticky. Now, there is where I think I was losing this thread before, and I don't want that anymore, with that idea. What do we do now is where I want to kind of build from this, because I don't want to just get on here and romanticize Blockbuster until we're all single tear crying into a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The question isn't was it better? The question is, what part of that was better? What can we carry forward? And what can we recreate intentionally in our world now without pretending we're going to rewind the clock? Because Blockbuster is not coming back. And you know what? Honestly, if it did, it'd probably feel like a Halloween costume. But the muscles we built there, we can still work those muscles. So, here is my progressive thinking flowing. The part where my brain goes. Like, we start small. Here's the thing. If the store used to force us to commit, then let's force ourselves to commit. Make a rule. This is just little fun things to do. Make a rule with your peoples. 2 friends, 3 friends, family, whatever. 1 movie Fridays. All right, here's the rules. No scrolling and no endless previews. Put 5 movie titles on slips of paper in a bowl at 6 p.m. So you do set a time. Pick one at 6:03 and then hit play by 6:05. Phones in the other room. Credits to credits. That's it. That's your deadline and your Dropbox. And you will be stunned on how much better that night feels when the choice ends and the experience begins. You will also be stunned at how often the second choice becomes the thing you talk about for a week. Now that's Blockbuster math for you. Or hold on. We can even go even further, like, to kind of like recreate Blockbuster for ourselves, like the discovery of things. If empty shelves that went back in the day used to push you into weird little gems, then recreate an empty shelf. So do this. Curate a tiny watch list, like a really tiny one, like 20 films for the season for yourself. And that's your personal new release wall, right? Redesign it like the store would. Like you'll have like a mixed bag of stuff somehow, like of things that you missed, you never really watched. Maybe even some oddball things you would never choose as a top pick, but it's in stock. Put it on the fridge. Cross them off. And you're reinventing scarcity on purpose so your taste can surprise you again. Also, let's take it even more. Arcade energy, right? Like you want that, right? We're adults now. You can go to barcades, sure, but like there's other ways to do it, especially like something to mention if you want to feel like a kid again, You can bring back that without even touching a sticky joystick. Make a public play rule for like a game night. No hiding behind mics, no anonymous rage quits. Rotate the controller with the TV volume up, with the people in the room, with spectators. Someone's gonna whiff. Someone's gonna pop off. At this point, it's not humiliation, it's community. Excuse me. Oh boy. I'm really cooking here. Hold on. So if you're feeling fancy, go find local esports spots that aren't like barcades or even a community center that runs on tournaments. Because if there isn't one, rent a space somewhere cheap on a Saturday, drag a couple consoles there and say, hey, we're going to do a show up and play. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be like public enough to make the heart rate go up a little bit, So Saturday mornings, take those back too. Make it yours. Not ironic, not performative. Pick a new, pick a show like, or old or whatever, or make it a block. Like pick a couple, like pick one episode from a couple shows to watch. And every Saturday at 9 a.m., pancakes, pajamas, 1 hour, no phones. If the kids are around, even better. If it's just you, a friend on FaceTime, both pressing play at the same time, that still counts. The magic isn't the cartoon. The magic is the clock, the rhythm. Then that rebuilds the clock. And look, this is my crazy one. This is the one where like I kind of wish for things. This is where I'm supposed to pitch something grand. Like maybe Netflix should do some weekend only rentals. And honestly, why not? Imagine a mode where a film is only available Friday through Sunday. And if you don't catch it, it's gone for a month. I know half of you just flinched, but tell me it wouldn't change your behavior. Scarcity creates urgency, right? Urgency creates presence. Presence creates memory. That's the path. And if the platforms won't try it, we can try it for ourselves. When people come over, there's a phone basket at the door, a bowl of movie slips on the table, and a dumb kitchen timer that says you have 2 minutes to choose. It's silly, but it's also the point. I'm not naive. The modern world isn't going to stop being modern. I don't want it to. I like that I can watch a documentary about octopuses in 3 a.m. if I suddenly became the man of the ocean. But I like that I can send my mom a show and she can watch it tomorrow with subtitles that she actually likes. Convenience isn't the villain here. It's the default. But defaults make us soft if we never push back. The old rituals were a way the world pushed back on us. Now we have to push back on ourselves. Design a little friction, put bumpers on the lane. Not to make it easier, ironically, but to make it matter. Because that's what it all is. Meaning. Small, silly meaning built out of plastic cases and stupid arguments in an aisle. The kind of meaning you only notice when it's gone. When you're sitting on a couch with every option in the world and somehow nothing's watchable. It's funny how Blockbuster had only 200 choices and you left happy. And Netflix has 20,000 and you leave tired. And that's not because the catalog is better. It's because one experience was designed to end the choosing and begin the doing. It forced you into a night. We can force ourselves into a night. If we do, we'll remember the night, not the scrolling. So yeah, Taco Bell can bring back that volcano taco and that beefy crunch or whatever edible dare we used to love. And I'd probably order it once and laugh and text a friend about how my 20s tasted like. It's pretty much hot sauce and bad decisions. But what I really want back are the rituals that sat around those flavors. I want the thing that made me show up. The thing that made me commit. The thing that made me pick the second best option and discover it was actually the best option for me that night. I want the training wheels we didn't know were training wheels. And if we can't get that exact thing back, and we can't, then let's get the muscle back. Let's be the people who bring anything back on purpose. A standing movie night, a house rule, a dumb bowl of paper slips, a no phone hour, a public play moment, a Saturday clock we set ourselves. Little stuff, but little stuff over time turns into who we are. So here we go. I'll leave you with this. Not what do you miss? That's too easy. What will you bring back? Or better yet, what will you invent? What's the small ritual you can design this week that pulls a little friction into your life in the best possible way? Because nostalgia sells tacos, but growth comes from the bumps. Convenience gives us everything. The harder way gives us character. And I think if we were honest, that's what we're kind of hungry for. Now go pick one thing. 2 minutes on a timer. No scrolling. Hit play. And when the credits roll, tell me if you didn't feel more alive than you did an hour ago of sitting on your phone, just swiping left or up or right or whatever. But I'll wait.
Don't feed the animals, signs all around. We talk a lot of junk, yeah, you vibing with us now. Build something from the ground up, yeah, we like to clown. Talk about some real stuff, yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us, wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking that we bust it. Put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing. Still bring it to the public. Y'all don't feed the animals, put them in a cage. They couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room. Can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you. I'm with the show, yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrity snatch a toy from your cereal.